Today we're gonna talk about all my plans for 2026. However, I think first we need to address the elephant in the room, and that is all the projects I take with me to 2026. And honestly, that does dictate what I want to do in 2026, as well as my most, anticipated cast on I did on New Year's Eve. So that is already in there as well for this year. So this is the time of year that people usually make their make 9. However, I'm a very slow knitter. A make 9 is not doable for me. The past 2 years I've been able to make 5 garments. In 2024 it has been 5 sweaters. In 2025 it has been 4 sweaters and a dress. So I think you could consider that as 6 sweaters. However, the last 2 years I have been sick at home with nothing to do except knitting and crochet. So I feel like this year, I hope 5 garments are doable, but I'm not even sure. Overall, I've made 19 things last year, so there's definitely time for small things next to that. Or if I fail a make 9 with 9 big projects, that is just not realistic for me. So I've tried to make realistic plans, but unfortunately they're also already being disturbed. I wanted to go for 4 sweaters, that is already not doable anymore. So let's talk about it. I have a big pile of project bags here, so let's go through those. See what is still on my needles. I'll be discussing what I'll keep. I keep most of it. There's one thing I'm gonna frog. Then I'm gonna show you my New Year's cast on, as well as the last sweater plan. And the other plans of this year. First bag is my Lusk Tee. I've got the Wednesday yarn countdown to Halloween last year from Atelier Wool Based. And there were loads of colors, but there were also a black and a grey. So I decided to make one black sweater with the colors, but obviously the black and the grey didn't work with that. So I've also decided to make another Lusk, but a fingering weight, and then with white and the black and the grey stripes. The 2 minis, the black and the grey, weren't obviously enough, so I have bought some more black yarn to go with it. This is Unicorn 75 merino wool and 25% polyamide. And the white is Hobie Black Friday sock yarn. I will be finishing this. It is on my needles. I like Lusk, so I definitely want to finish this. This is how far I got. I just put the 2 sides in the front together. So I'm now going to do the bust shaping, and then I can go attach the front to the back and go into the round. This is my easy stockinette project. I always need one of those. Then I have my Christmas sweater. I really wanted to make a Christmas sweater last year, and honestly, it didn't get to it again. And I was a bit bummed about it. So I decided 3 days before Christmas that I was gonna, because I had to recast it, I was gonna cast it on anyway. So I recasted on my Christmas sweater. And this is how it looks, so that next year I definitely have a Christmas sweater, because I wanted that for 2 years now and it just did not work out. And I'm like, we're not waiting for another Christmas period to do it when it is too busy and I don't have time. I still feel like it, we're gonna do it now. This is how far I am. Colorwork looks terrible when it's not blocked for me, so sorry. It is also a bit crunched up on the needles right now, because I'm getting at the part where I'll get a larger cable. But I was too lazy to do it yesterday, and that's when I got there. So you have to bear with me. These are the gingerbread man. Then we have the candy cane striping, and I just finished the hot chocolate part. I do need to still duplicate stitch the straw on top. And now I'm gonna do the candy cane stripes again, and then a blue snowflake with a white background. This was supposed to be an all-over colorwork sweater, but because of the plans that have changed, I decided that this is gonna be a yoke-only colorwork sweater. However, I just recasted this on with the same needles, you know, the gauge swatch I did a year ago. And now, like, when I was almost done with the hot chocolate, that is what I was gonna... I don't know if that was smart. But I only realized over halfway in the hot chocolates that I might needed to re-swatch because it has been a year. So what I intend to do is to finish the colorwork yoke, then block it. I'm gonna fit it. If it fits, if it is a tiny bit snugger than I want, that's gonna be fine. If it doesn't fit at all, I will frock it and then I will make it next year. Then I just don't have time again. But they do look like, I like how it looks. So, and I think it's gonna be fine. Because this is very scrunched up. So there is a lot of, you know, stretch still to give. And then obviously it's gonna block a bit out as well. So I think it's gonna be fine. This is the one I've been working on the most. I just want to get past the colorwork so I can block it and see how this is gonna work out or not. So I've been very motivated to work on this. And also, colorwork is so fun. It is so potato chippy. This is my first colorwork sweater. I'm really proud of it. So, you know, that really helps with the motivation. Then I'm crocheting another cardigan, which is not for me, it's for my mom. And it's a granny square cardigan. I need 15 more squares. 2 of those need to be half squares, which is new to me. So that is probably gonna take more time than a normal square. Making the squares is probably doable in a day. And then I have to assembly. That is probably gonna take longer. I do still need to crochet the bottom band as well as the collar. This is for my mom. I'm making this for her birthday in March. I am not really motivated. If I'm completely honest, I don't like granny squares. And I wanted to make this for her for Christmas. But then she decided to change the gift giving rules. So I could not give this for Christmas anymore. And now I'm not motivated anymore to work on it. It just got the excitement out of it for me. I will get back to it. But honestly, it is probably gonna be at the end of February, beginning of March, when I feel the stress that I need to finish this for her birthday and not before that. Sorry, I am getting a bit... I don't know, I'm not sick. But, you know, the things you get before you get sick, I do. My throat is a bit weird, and if I sound weird, that's why. I'm sorry. But I had no time to film this sooner, and I can't, you know... I wanted this to go up yesterday, so I wanted to go up now today. So I can't postpone anymore. Then I have one other... Or I have a sweater on there. This one. And this is the one I'm gonna frock. I really want to remake it, but I don't think I have time this year, so I think it's time to frock, get the yarn out of the project bag, store it somewhere else. This is the Crochet seaglass tee. I really like the fabric, but I have a lot of fit issues with this. It turns out that I'm not the only one, and it is definitely getting the joy out of the project for me. So I am frocking this, and I am going to make this... I think I'm gonna use the Tulsa tee by Rebecca Clow. I think I'm gonna knit it now. I have knitted 1x1 colorwork before in this one. I think I want to do it on a Tulsa tee because I know that with raglan it works. Because I've done it. So I just have to get this out. And then I will cast on a new one. Unfortunately, that is probably not going to be this year. I do really, really like how this fabric is looking. I do really enjoy that. So it is a shame. But yeah, the pattern is just not working for me. For a lot of people it does work, but also I'm not the only one where the pattern doesn't work for. So yeah, keep that in mind. But this is the one I will be frogging. So at least I got a project bag back because that is my favorite one. And then I have cast on a new sweater. This is the sweater I wanted to make for 2 years now. So this is the most anticipated sweater of the year. I had to cast it on with New Year's. I love the yarn, I love the pattern. It is finally time I'm making it. And it is the Lannark by Rebecca Clow. I've been wanting to make this sweater for 2 years. However, I was very intimidated by the fisherman rib. Now I've done it. And it was hilarious because it was not necessary. We will still see because one of the intimidating things from fisherman's rib is that it is hard to fix your mistakes. So we will see. I've just done the color. It is a very slow stitch and I'm already a very slow knitter. So this sweater is going to take me a long time, but I don't care. I love this yarn. Yoke gave me this yarn for my birthday. I couldn't remember. It was my birthday or Christmas, but it's my... No, it was Christmas. It was not my birthday. Merino Care 100 Superwash. Woo. From Hobby. As well as... Oh, this is the same. Where is my fluff? Alpaca Blaze, also by Hobby. Which has 40% acrylic, 30% alpaca, 30% polyamide. One of these colors is called Bubblegum. I think this is the one. It's a very, very vibrant color. I really enjoy it. I'm super excited about this. I feel like the Lannark, it's such a sporty sweater that I felt like it could really use a very vibrant color. And I do not have a lot of pink sweaters. The only thing is that the one pink sweater I have is a ripped quarter zip. So I have both like similar patterns because I made that sweater because I wanted to make the Lannark. So they're very similar and they're both pink. But it's fine. This yarn screamed Lannark to me. And this yarn is the whole reason I was now able to get over my fear of fisherman's rib and actually set up the Lannark, and it works great. So if I have to ripped quarter zipped pink sweaters, that's it. I'm fine with it. So that is the plan. That were all the sweaters. I also have one scarf on my needle still, and I definitely want to finish this. But I have not recently been working on it. So this is the Sally dress wrap. This is obviously a Nightmare Before Christmas themed. I absolutely love it. I wanted to make this to get with me to Disney, but with 3 weeks before, it was just too short of time. I knew that was gonna happen, but I wanted to try anyway. However, at the end of this year, we're going back to Disney. So I definitely want this with me now. Specifically since this year, Disneyland Paris does have Jack Skellington in his Christmas outfit during Christmas to take pictures with you. So I feel like it is a necessity, if that makes sense. So this will be worked on. But I'm currently focusing specifically on the colorwork sweater for a very good reason. But we will come there. We're doing that last because that is the reason why my whole plans got, you know, muddled already. And then I have 2 little project bags, which means socks. First of all, I have these socks. I now finally have a pattern for a heel flap, a gusset, toe up, where the flap is actually on the heel, where you need it. I should prioritize this because it is for a birthday at the end of the month. I'm just not feeling it right now. I really want to work on the sweater, so I'm giving myself that break. I already have less knitting time and it is already hard for me because I can't regulate that much anymore. So I'm now, yeah, those socks will finish when they're finished, and then I will send it. And she will love it anyway. Doesn't matter when it arrives. And then I have socks for me, which has basically the same concept because they're also going to be long ribbed socks. So that's why this looks terrible, but I swear this fits me. Like it stretches out a lot. And I'm going to give this long legs so they, you know, bunch up a bit. So they're basically a sock and a leg warmer in one. That is the plan. And these are for me, this is the Wednesday colorway that came as the full skein, the 100 gram skein of sock yarn with the Wednesday countdown to Halloween. And I love it. So these had to be socks for me. Sorry, I bumped you. My needles fell out of one of the project bags, so I need to put them back. Then I accidentally bumped you, I'm sorry. Then I have one more project bag to go. This is a very low-key, casual project. I just want to have a blanket on the needles, so that's what I got. It is a Christmas blanket, and it is the Sweet Shop blanket. I have made one whole square this Christmas season. I was waiting on my Christmas yarns and I got them for my birthday. So now that I have them, I can just work on my Christmas blanket whenever I want to and just make one square if I feel like it. I don't mind if this is a project that is going to take me 5 years. And, you know, I will just eventually have a Christmas blanket and enjoy it for years to come. So it is here. It's not getting a lot of attention. This is just my, oh, I really want to work on a blanket right now. And then I have it. That's it. That is the thing. So if you counted correctly, we're already on the 4 sweaters I, you know, wanted to tap out on. However, I cannot. It's my brother's fault. He gave me this Knitting with Disney book. And you can see it already on the cover. Oh, I love this. Yeah. I'm so glad he gave me this book. I really wanted it for a long time. But there is a very, very pretty sweater in it. I'm trying to find it. That's why I'm looking down. Like, there are many pretty things in here. Almost anything is pretty. A lot of it is colorwork, you know, to give you the characters and stuff. So it takes a lot of time. But this sweater has me at a hold. This is a Beauty and the Beast colorwork sweater. I need this in my life. But also, I am going to Disney during Christmas, during winter. How fun would it be if I could wear this at Disney? And then, you know, obviously I take off my coat usually when I take pictures with the characters. So you could take pictures with this sweater, with the characters in Disney. And I felt like that is so necessary to me now. Obviously, I already had a colorwork sweater planned and I've started it before I got this book. And this is why I have been so branded on getting that colorwork done. So that I can start this one. I'm gonna make it a tiny bit different. I don't want a blue sweater. I think it is gonna be very pretty with a pink background. I like the concept of the rose in the glass, but I don't like this version. And I know Pacific Knit Co. has a fairy tale doodle set. And I like the rose in the glass there way better. So I'm gonna submit those two. I'm gonna use the rose from Pacific Knit Co. instead. And I've done the math, that is possible. I would like to change the clock, but at this point we also realistically have to see how far I get. Because it's a lot, not gonna lie. But I love this sweater, I fell in love with it. And I need it to go to Disney with me. So that's the thing. I want this sweater and that scarf done before I go to Disney. I go to Disney on my birthday in December, so I have plenty of time. But this is a colorwork sweater, so it is gonna take a long time. It is on sport weight yarn, not DK. So that also obviously is going to take more time. Depending on how the other colorwork sweater fits, I could do some math and see if I can use the DK sweater doodle pattern from Pacific Knit Co. specifically because she has made it so that you can use all kind of doodles. So obviously you can also use colorwork charts from different creators. It is just, she makes her doodles either 12 or 24 stitches and she tells you exactly what size you can use which. But she also gives you the stitch count after every increase. So you know, so you can calculate which color chart works. And that's kind of how I could make this a DK pattern as well. I don't have the yarn for this yet. So I need to find, I'm gonna try and find yarn for this on the Breidagen in Breda, which are the 6th and the 7th of February in the Netherlands. I think that is just gonna be fun to do. And that is also when I want to start it. Right after that, I immediately want to start this sweater. That's why I have been working on the colorwork sweater so much. I want to see how the yoke fits before then. So that if I find pretty colors in DK weight, I know it is fine. I can do that or I can't. Like that is what I want to figure out beforehand, before buying the yarn preferably. And also then I have another colorwork project, and you know, when the colorwork for the yoke is done, it is just stockinade in the other sweater, so that is easy. And then I can focus on this colorwork. That's just the plan. But yeah, this book is full of very, very pretty colorwork patterns. Like, oh, that is with here. These mittens. Absolutely love this blanket. I love this sweater. I would love to make this for Job, but he's not gonna wear it probably. We have the Mistress of Evil socks that I desperately need for, you know, no reason. There are so many good patterns. Oh, here, the Tree Fairy gloves. That is colorwork as well. Look, they have the gloves and the socks. There is so much out of this book that I would like to make. But I am limited in what I can make in a year, so we're focusing on the sweater first. Because I already have all of this. The other thing is that I have filled my queue with sweaters. And I absolutely can knit other stuff next to 4 or 5 sweaters. And that stuff is gonna be socks for me. That whole idea was that this was the year of socks for me. I have knitted many socks, but most of them I gave away. I've knitted more socks for other people than for myself. And I love wearing hand knitted socks. I wear them every single day if I get the chance in winter. And unfortunately right now I do not get a chance because I do not have enough pairs of socks for me to do that. Which obviously is very unfortunate. So I've decided that this is the year for me to make socks for me. I actually intended to make colorwork socks. So obviously now it is kind of like, are we gonna make Disney socks? Because that would be fun to have as well. But colorwork is taking more time. For obvious reasons, right? So I don't want to commit to it yet. But I have so many doodles from Pacific Knit Co. that I would like to knit as well as colorwork. I still need to make my Alaska Malamute socks. you know, I still want corky socks. Like her fairy tale set, but also the gardening socks. She has so many doodle sets. I bought so many of them. I would like to make them all. So I definitely would like to make a colorwork pair of socks, but I think I'm gonna do that after my colorwork sweaters. I'm prioritize my colorwork sweaters first and then do colorwork socks. But I would like to make that at least, and I would also like to make a cabled sock. You know, I've been afraid of cables, which is, you know, hilarious because I have done cables before, so I can do it. It just has been years, and I didn't want to do it with a scattered brain. Now the cable itch is real. I really want to make something with cables. Obviously, my sweater queue is full. These are the sweaters I will be working on the whole year. This is just the amount that I can make in a year. So we're not gonna add to that. So I was thinking cabled socks. Yoke gave me this book of Knit a Box of Socks. I really wanted this. So also great gift giving again. I've been so spoiled. But there is a pair of socks in here that are so cute. They have cables. Here they are. They're called gingerbread latte socks. Aren't they cute? I love these cables, and I think it's very simple. I don't think this is going to be a lot of problem. So I want to make these socks this year. One pair of cable socks, preferably one pair of colorwork socks, and then the rest can just be stockinette or ripped socks like I'm making now, just to get me multiple pairs of socks. Like obviously if you're gonna do intricate things, they're gonna take longer. So I don't mind stockinette socks at all. I wear them all the time. I would not mind to have more bamboo ankle socks as well. So since I bought the bamboo sock yarn last time on the breidagen, I might find some more there, and then I just, you know, might get 1 or 2 skeins of that as well. Because I would not mind. I have another pair of summer yarn, summer sock yarn from Hobby to try out. Those are obviously taking, you know, faster if they're ankle socks, but I like wearing them in summer too. And then I have an option. 5 sweaters this year. It should be 4, but 5 it's gonna be. And loads of socks. Those are my plans for 2026. If I have the time, I would really, really like to get to know the knitting machine. Job's aunt gave me a flatbed knitting machine, and I love it. I love the whole idea, the whole concept. Like, I am a very slow knitter. So if I would be able to, for example, finish more socks with that knitting machine, that would be great. Then I also can still gift socks. Unfortunately, right now I do not have the brain space to figure out how the machine works. And I'm just waiting for the moment I have. And then I'm gonna do it. I hope it is at the beginning of the year, but currently with my going back to work, it is a bit hard right now. So we're not gonna add to that. We're just gonna enjoy my hand knitted. We're gonna accept that I am slow and I can only do so much this year, and that is absolutely fine. I'm not even sure if this is doable. Like, I have done 5 garments, but I'm going back to work. So that is a different situation here. I do not have time all day to knit anymore. So we will see how much I can actually do. But actually, you know what? It kind of feels good that most big projects for this year are already on my needles. And I have been switching between them already in a day. I've done then color work, and then when I'm done with it, or I'm like, oh yeah, I don't know if I can do a full round anymore because I'm almost going to bed. I just switch to a tiny bit of fisherman's rib or my sock or whatever. You know, a bit of stockinette on the Lusk, and it has been so nice. And it feels really good to cast on the sweaters that I really wanted to make and prioritize them. Make sure that I knit those because they're on my needles. And I will not cast on new sweaters because I already have so many on my needles. And it is giving me more rest than I expected. Usually what happens is that I get very anxious if I have too many projects at some point. If I have like more than 5 projects on the go for more than 2 months, I get anxious about it and I really want to finish something before I cast on new ones. So, you know, then it is getting overwhelming a tiny bit. So far that hasn't happened, but also I feel like if that is going to be the case, it is actually quite helpful because I'm gonna probably focus on one thing, finish that, and then just pick up something else from the stack after that. So I'm very curious to see what this new method of just casting on all the sweaters you want to make in a year, this is it, this is what you're working on, what that is gonna do. Because now it is still fun. I knew this was gonna be the case in December, so I've done this in December and half of January. So for the first month and a half, it is fun. Obviously, in the last day of December, I have cast on a new sweater, so I still had something to cast on. I know in February I still have something to cast on, so very curious to see if it changes when I don't have anything to cast on anymore. But I don't think so, because I can still, get through the socks and cast on new socks. So right now it feels really good, and it actually gives a lot of rest to my mind, which is a curious thing. Let me know what you are working on in 2026, which is the pattern that you are looking most forward to, or are you finishing your WIPs? What is your strategy this year? I love to hear it. Again, if you're a slow knitter like me, don't get upset by all the people that are able, to make a make 9 or a make even more. All those plans. You don't have to do that. It is totally fine to just make a sweater a year and that's it. Or just one sock a year if that is your pace. That is absolutely fine. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, subscribe if you want to see more chaos from me, and I will see you in the next one.